Okay, today we're going to be talking about animation, and in the file that I'm going to attach, we have the giraffe from the kids video set up in a scene similar to in the first video with two large lamps pointed at it on a curved plane, and you see the model, one of the giraffes from the tower just standing there. Okay, so when we're working in animation, you deal in the timeline panel, which is by default down below, and you can kind of pull it up like you would any other sort of window. So yeah, here you see that space, kind of a similar setup, except this time we're going to get things moving. So to create what is called a keyframe, you hit I, and then that brings up this menu with lots of options. You can create a keyframe for an object's location, rotation, scale, etc. So I just created a keyframe for the object's location, which means that Blender has now bookmarked where the giraffe is at frame 1. And if I advance to frame 20, and then move the giraffe, changing its location on whatever axis, and then hit I again and make another keyframe for the secondary location, Blender will calculate the movement in between those two frames. You can also change things other than location, so here I am scaling the giraffe down, therefore altering its scale. I am rotating it on the z-axis, and then I'm inserting a keyframe for location, rotation, scale at frame 1. And then if I advance to frame 20, make some more changes to its scale and rotation, and then add another keyframe. In the location, rotation, scale, it will bookmark these changes and then alter them just like it did with the location. You can also change things that aren't related to what you might think you can change. Blender's really unique in that way. You can also change the base color based on keyframe. So if you just hover over any sort of component and hit I, like you would with the object, it doesn't bring up a menu, but it just assumes what you're doing, and then you advance to a secondary keyframe, make some sort of change, like I changed it to pink because this is for girls, and then you hit I again, also hovering over that box. It will change on the same sort of keyframe dynamic. Something important is that you can also change the location of the camera just like you can an object, which is vital in good, like very fluid animation. So here I am creating a keyframe for location rotation on the camera, and then advancing to frame 30, and then moving the camera just to make it a little more dynamic, and then adding another keyframe for location rotation, and then as you can see, it is moving along the same structure. So in terms of rendering videos, it defaults to doing an output in the TMP folder, which you definitely don't want. So if you hit that folder icon, go to your desktop or wherever, and then I usually create a new folder named Poopy, and then you select that folder as the output location. It will export as individual images. I find that doing individual images works much better than an actual like MP4 file, just because you can check along the way, you can make sure things are running smoothly. And then if you set, like, this is the start frames at 1, the end frames at 40, it will render 40 individual ping files that you can then put into Photoshop as a video. That's the end. Oh my god.